Sekiro is a masterpiece, but the players are not. We've all been here, reviving right in front of the bull while he's throwing a tantrum, facing a group of 4 medium enemies when the combat's designed to be a 1v1, or the classic, Mikiring instead of jumping, or jumping instead of Mikiring. Today, I'm counting down the 5 worst mistakes you can make in Sekiro Shadows Die Twice. We're starting the list with fighting the Headless at the beginning. The Headless can be considered one of the worst mini-bosses to fight in this game. Yeah, in my list, he's even worse than the Mist Noble. Here, I'm emphasizing that you shouldn't fight them close to the beginning of your first playthrough, because you will 100% die, which is very punishing in this game, unless you've already caught on the fact that once you earn an experience point, you can't lose it, and that you have to buy purses of coin to avoid losing them after death. Since it is an apparition type of enemy, you need to coat your katana with some divine confetti to deal damage. The problem with every single fight in any game that needs a consumable is that those are limited, and in Sekiro's case, it's like the day before the game started, it was Black Friday and Divine Confetti was on a 80% off sale. Because the only way to find it is farming the samurais in blue robes at the Ashina castle. They knew that farming was bullshit, but they didn't remove it from the game. Instead, in patch 103, they increased the confetti drop rates from those same dudes. But I can hardly call that a solution. Farming sucks, period. And it will continue being like that until the endgame, when you defeat the true corrupted monk. After beating her, you receive a little statue that allows vendors to sell confetti. 300 apiece, which is not very expensive, but not so cheap either, since you'll need at least 2 of them to beat a Headless, just because of how goddamn slow the fight is. It's totally plausible that the first confetti timer will run out at the last moment and you'll be killed while you pop the next one by the ghostly blob. Come on guys, it's not body shaming when you're talking about a headless ghost. This is body shaming. Literally. But there is one solution to avoid all of this. Become a parry master and deflect every single hit perfectly. Otherwise, the instant death terror meter will build up faster than, yep, already dead. What I wanted to say is by only parrying it and filling its posture gauge, you can deal death blows to the creature without any confetti. That is very unlikely to happen in your first playthrough though, unless you like splattering your brains against a wall. The rewards they give you is not even something cool, it's just a way to cast those spells of stealth, more damage, and so on without the need for a consumable, which aren't even that hard to find. Add that to the fact that gamers always save consumables for later, but since later is a moment that never comes, you'll never use them. Number 4 is playing it like a Soulsborne. Sekiro is hardly a Souls game. As a matter of fact, the only thing it has in common with the rest of their deliveries is the health bar and the tough combat. And that's the reason why you shouldn't play it aggressively as in Bloodborne, or as defensively by blocking and dodging all the time as in Dark Souls. Bloodborne allows you to be extra aggressive because humanoid enemies stagger with many attacks you land on them. And beasts tend to be very clumsy if you position yourself behind them. Sekiro deals with that by amplifying the mobility of the beasts like the ape and the demon by 1,000 in comparison to Bloodborne. In Dark Souls, blocking blows with a huge shield and rolling into big attacks are the bread and butter of the game. In Sekiro, blocking only increases your posture bar, and when it fills, you'll be left exhausted and open to any incoming attacks. What's more, the biggest mistake every Sekiro casual commits is dashing away from or into attacks instead of deflecting. It's the least productive action you can take in combats because you'll neither be filling your enemy's posture nor getting an advantageous position by dodging, since most enemies in this game recover very fast from their attacks. Typically, the combat goes like deflect, hit them once or twice, and it's back to deflecting. Number 3 has gotta be dying twice. Punishing a player for dying too much in a game whose title says die twice sounds like the worst type of comedy someone can spew. But it's true. Here's a few things new players will have to go through in Sekiro. No skill points to buy new skills. You know, the same skills that keep the gameplay loop interesting because, other than them and the gadgets, Sekiro has less moves than the characters in the original Mortal Kombat in 1992. No money. Dying too much also removes your coins if you don't learn how to store them, a new bank mechanic that was made uniquely for this game. Getting quests interrupted because Dragon Rot can stall them until you cure whatever NPC is affected by it. And the most tedious activity in any game ever, farming. Done in order to prevent losing half of the skill you've acquired in case the half-assed unseen aid mechanic decides not to show up. So, yeah. Pray thee be careful.
Wolf, will you subscribe to this channel for me?
Not in your wildest dreams, kid.
Shame.
Komyuri-san said that if we got many subs, you would get the castle for you and Emma alone.
Guys, you have to help me!
For number 2, I've saved unlocking the true ending. Sekiro has 4 endings, but only one of these is considered the true canonical ending of the game. And in true FromSoftware nature, it is stupidly hard to achieve by yourself. Let me walk you through everything you have to do to get this ending. Get the Infested Tome, either from the temple's leader if you go there earlier, or at the bottom of this random pond if you talk to Ishin before going to the temple. Chomp a fuck ton of rice in front of the poor girl, and don't forget to hand over the Infested Scroll. After swallowing an amount of rice so high that even a Japanese salaryman will envy you, the poor girl will start feeling ill because of what she's seen. That's the moment you randomly have to give her a persimmon to cure her tummy ache. Then, she will give you even more damn rice, but this one's not for you, it's for Kuro. Give it to him, rest, receive sweet rice ball, defeat your abusive father, return to the rice girl, go see her randomly in this boss arena because reasons, return to Simple Temple, enter this cave that you've probably visited before but found nothing because you hadn't progressed in this quest yet. Now there is something here, bring the tome to her, and now comes the craziest part. To get the viscera from the serpents, you need to play co-op in a game with no multiplayer. Sounds odd, but the puppeteer skill can help you with that. Instead of backstabbing this enemy, which is the most normal thing to do here, you need to use that ninjutsu to make him go work on that crank, to loosen the kite, which you'll use later down the area to grapple. It's incredible the lengths you have to go through cryptic shit just to do this. Like, this imp's so far away that even if you fully zoom in using the Nightjar monocular, you won't see him because the game has despawned him because of the distance. And I assure you, he's still there because the kite is still in the same position. If he lets go, it would go back. The second serpent is more or less the same. Use the ninjutsu on this monkey so it can distract the serpent who was blocking your entrance to get the viscera. The entrance to the cave is a little hidden, in a zone that you'll never have to visit unless you're an explorer, but I think it isn't as convoluted as the other one. The only hint you'll have at what mindfuckery shenanigan you have to do to pull off these stunts is giving rise to this lady, but still, FromSoftware helps in their own way, by giving you the most riddled clue you'll ever get.
What? Bro, what are you talking about, man?
After doing all this, go back to the girl, hand over the viscera, eavesdrop, travel somewhere, come back, and she will have the item you have to give to Kuro to get the hidden canon ending. The worst part is, there's nothing new to it beyond the final cutscene. Ending A is your standard conclusion to the story, the one almost everyone will get without checking for guides. Ending B is FromSoftware's take on the Big Bad Wolf fairy tale, where you kill everyone. Ending C gives you a brand new fight against Al and a new version of the Hirata state with much more dangerous enemies. Ending D, however, the most convoluted one, doesn't give you anything new beyond busy paperwork. Fetch me this, go get that, bring this to me, rest, talk to this NPC. It's just chore after chore to unlock a 3-minute cutscene. Completionists aside, if I told you that the reward for gathering all the items in a 4-hour-long supermarket list is a 3-minute cutscene that you can watch on YouTube, would you still do it? I would, because I'm biased by my sickening habit of platinuming FromSoftware games, and I hate myself for it. Here are the 3 honorable mentions for this list. First one is choosing to side with the owl. If you're sticking to the Irem code because you actually believe Owl is right, you're either mad or ignorant, pick your poison. Okay, we've all done the evil ending because we would like to see what happens if we choose the Owl's path. Doing it out of curiosity, I can buy it. But betraying Kuro because someone who's been supposedly dead for years come back out of nowhere without telling you anything and tells you to forfeit your master because... whatever. No matter if you're in Japan, Brazil or Chad, that's what's called a scheming rat. And if you got fooled by him, you've made one of the worst decisions you can make in this game. The second one is doing Dojun's quest. Getting Jinzaemon or Kotaro to go through whatever Dojun does to his patients is the second most evil thing you can do in this game. Dojun isn't nice, he's got some dementia action going on. The rewards aren't original, it's just upgrade materials. The result isn't satisfying, he transforms whatever friendly NPC you send to him into a mindless red-eyed enemy. And the worst part is, their quests are incompatible. Jinzaimon's and Kotaro's quests give far better rewards than the few lumps of fat and grave wax you receive from Dojun. It has zero worth, and the game tries to warn you by putting this NPC in the creepiest place in the game, surrounded by failed tasked subjects and stained with blood from head to toes. If you didn't sniff this was going to go badly, you should reevaluate your spatial awareness. And the last honorable mention before the #1 spot is spamming the block button. It's a very common tactic for people who have just started the game to mash L1 to block in hopes that their mashing matches the attack pattern of the enemy they're facing, and sometimes that will work, but for the most part, it doesn't. One of the coolest aspects of this game is feeling the mastery that comes with perfectly deflecting blows and slashes, aka following the rhythm. If you're still doing the mashing, congrats. You've just found the formula to live shorter than a newborn girl in China. Sekiro's already filled with trigger-happy monkeys, we don't need another one. And the long-awaited worst decision you can make in Sekiro is not fighting the inner versions of the 3 best bosses in the game. 1 year and 7 months after the game's release, FromSoftware took who, for me, are the 3 best bosses in the game and cranked up their difficulty by a mile, adding new moves, new behavior patterns according to what you throw at them. I feel bad for all the people who didn't have the game by that point, or who weren't capable or didn't have the patience to beat Inner Genichiro, Inner Father, and Inner Ishin Sword Saint. Imagine you rented the game, beat it overnight, and returned it anytime between March the 22nd of 2019 and October 28th of 2020. It's always a fun time to get annihilated by the new combo that Inner Owl has, including multiple teleports using his Spirit Owl, or get caught by surprise by Genichiro throwing the lightning back at you, or Inner Ishin being all over the place with those new moves he gets with the Black Mortal Blade, how he starts faking moves more often, and that tough combo he gets in his sword and spear stance. It's not so much for the rewards, it's more about the experience itself, and the face of surprise you get when those things I mentioned before happen, because, well, new skins are cool, but I would have preferred if they just gave new skills and gadgets to the player instead of new clothes for Wolf. But at least Inner Genichiro gives you Sakura Dance, which is one of the coolest arts in the game, and it even works to redirect lightning. The gauntlets that you have to overcome to unlock these inner versions are a fun way to test your boss knowledge. And while we're at it, the same patch released the feature that allows you to replay any boss fight at your own will, which I think is one of the best features a Souls game has ever had, but Michael disagrees because that's the last we've seen from it. I think this point could have been called not playing the game after patch 105, because I would go crazy if I had to go through the entire game or gauntlet again just to fight Inner Genichiro or Inner Father, 2 of my favorite boss fights in this game. In my opinion, these are the worst mistakes you can make while playing Sekiro Shadows Die Twice. Do you think there are other worse decisions? Let me know in the comments and maybe I can make a part 2. Thank you for watching all the way here. As a little gift, my next video will be about ranking the dogs in Souls games from least to most annoying. Bye!